Winter has always been a test of discipline, knowledge and preparation. Long before radiators, electric blankets and thermostats, people still slept through brutal cold and woke up alive, functional and ready to work. What they relied on was not comfort, but systems. Before we get into it, if you value serious historical knowledge and practical survival insights that still work today, subscribe to Warfield Prepper Chronicles, like this video, and leave a comment with the coldest night you've ever endured. Now, let's get straight to it. They treated the bed as the primary survival tool, not the house. Historically, the bed was the center of nighttime survival. People did not attempt to heat entire rooms because it was wasteful and unrealistic. Instead, they focused on trapping body heat at the smallest scale possible. Mattresses were stuffed with straw, hay, wool or feathers, materials chosen specifically for insulation rather than comfort. Multiple layers were used deliberately, not randomly. A coarse underblanket prevented heat loss downward, followed by progressively finer layers that trapped warmth close to the body. In practice today, this means insulating beneath you matters as much as what you cover yourself with. A modern mattress on a cold floor leaks heat. Adding thick wool blankets, folded quilts, or even cardboard beneath bedding replicates this old method with immediate effect. They slept in enclosed sleeping spaces to reduce heat loss. In medieval Europe and well into the 19th century, enclosed beds were common. Box beds, curtained frames, and wall alcoves dramatically reduced airflow. This created a microclimate that retained heat throughout the night. Even poor households used heavy curtains or hung woolen cloths around beds to block drafts. The lesson here is simple and directly applicable. If your bedroom is cold, reducing airflow around the bed is more effective than raising the room temperature. Hanging thick curtains around a sleeping area, positioning the bed away from windows, or using a canopy structure recreates this proven strategy without modern technology. They layered clothing at night instead of relying on blankets alone. Sleeping naked in winter, well, that's really a modern luxury made possible by central heating. Historically, people slept clothed. Linen or wool night garments trapped warmth while allowing moisture to escape. Wool was especially prized because it retains heat even when damp. People avoided cotton against the skin because it held moisture and increased cold. For modern application, wearing breathable thermal layers or wool base layers to bed can significantly improve warmth without adding excessive bedding. The key principle is regulating moisture as much as temperature. Dry warmth lasts longer and keeps the body from chilling in the early morning hours. They managed heat during the evening to carry warmth into the night. People understood that going to bed cold was a mistake. Evening routines were structured to build and retain body heat. Light movement, warm meals and heated drinks were timed carefully. Hot stones, bricks or ceramic tiles were heated near the hearth and wrapped in cloth, then placed at the foot of the bed. This practice persisted into the early 20th century. Today, a hot water bottle performs the same function, but even warmed stones or heated rice bags can replicate it during power outages. The principle is preheating the sleep environment so the body expends less energy staying warm overnight. They sealed rooms and prioritized draft control over open air. Cold air infiltration was the enemy. Cracks in walls, gaps under doors, and open chimneys drained warmth rapidly. People stuffed rags, straw, or rolled fabric into gaps and hung heavy tapestries on exterior walls. Floors were covered with thick rugs or rush mats to insulate against frozen ground. This was not decoration, it was survival engineering. Applying this today means sealing drafts before increasing heat output. Door snakes, heavy curtains, layered rugs, and wall hangings reduce heat loss far more efficiently than most people realize. They used shared body heat as a calculated survival method. Families often slept together, not for sentiment, but for warmth. Multiple bodies in a confined space raised ambient temperature noticeably. In inns and rural homes, shared sleeping was common practice during extreme cold. While modern standards differ, the survival principle remains valid. In emergency conditions, grouping sleepers or even sharing a single insulated space can dramatically improve warmth. For households facing power loss in winter, designating one insulated sleeping room for everyone is historically accurate and highly effective. They timed sleep patterns to match the coldest hours. People adapted sleep schedules around temperature drops. The coldest hours before dawn were anticipated, not ignored. Extra coverings were added before sleep rather than after waking cold. Some cultures practice segmented sleep, waking briefly to add fuel, adjust bedding, or re-warm before returning to rest. Today, this translates into preparing additional layers within reach and understanding that early morning cold requires planning, not reaction. They respected fuel and used it strategically, not continuously. Fire was valuable and conserved. Hearths were allowed to burn down overnight, but embers were preserved. Bedrooms were warm before sleep rather than throughout the night. This reduced fuel use and fire risk. The modern equivalent is using heat to warm the space and bedding before sleep, then relying on insulation rather than constant heating. This mindset is critical for anyone preparing for fuel shortages or off-grid living. People survived freezing nights without central heating because they worked with physics, not against it. They minimized space, controlled airflow, layered intelligently, and planned heat usage with discipline. These methods are not outdated. They are proven, repeatable, and effective under modern conditions. If this guide added real value to your understanding of winter survival and historical living, subscribe to Warfield Prepper Chronicles, like the video, and share it with someone preparing for the cold. Leave a comment with which method you plan to apply this winter. Knowledge kept alive is knowledge that saves lives.